I want to welcome everybody to part 2 of our Big 3 series today.
Absolutely.
Drake.
Talking about Drake today.
Drake.
Man.
So
Dang, this is crazy. We on part 2 talking about Drake.
yeah, man.
Oh,
This is a big one because we have a lot of ground to cover, and I just want to say that Drake he's been a very polarizing figure since he stepped foot, I feel like, into the industry. You either hate him or you love him. There is no in between. A lot of controversy. There's a lot of negative opinion, a lot of positive opinion. I feel like we are going to go through all of that today.
Got a lot to cover.
I think people are gonna see and learn just how much of a Drake fan I really am. I do have a lot of heavy criticism of Drake. As you know, as everybody that knows me knows, I have a lot of heavy criticism of Drake. But just like J. Cole, it's the same thing. I feel like it's out of love.
Yeah.
And I see the greatness in all three of these guys. And, sometimes we can nitpick. Sometimes we can, have bigger criticisms than others. But we're here. Part 2, Drake.
Yeah.
Drake.
So I guess we could start off by, when was the first time that you heard Drake, and what was your reaction?
So the first time I heard Drake, I think we talked about it last time. It was this song called Ransom that Wayne had put out. So this was in the middle of Wayne's run.
Okay.
This was in the middle of Wayne's run. He was still,
what a time.
Yeah, he was still him. And he was doing a lot of like mixtape features, killing feature verses, albums, everything. He was just on top of everything. And he put out this song called Ransom, and there was a version with just Wayne on it, but then there was also a remix version with Drake on it. And I didn't know Drake at the time. I just remember listening to the song for the first time and being like, who is this Drake guy? This guy, he killed this. Like, I thought he rapped better than Wayne on that to me. And it's been a long time since I've heard that song. I'm actually going to have to go back and replay it. But I just remember liking Drake's verse a lot on there. And I think after hearing that, I think So Far Gone was either just getting ready to come out or it was already out. I can't remember. But when So Far Gone came out, I immediately was a fan. Like there was no question. Like I became a fan of Drake because of his rapping and because he gave me a lot of people don't know, or I'm not gonna say a lot of people don't know. A lot of people kind of forget where Drake really gets his like inspiration from. And I think the reason why I'm a big fan of Drake is because he reminds me a lot of early Joe Budden.
Yeah,
just as far as introspection and Fonte. Those are,
yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah. And I think Fonte more so than Joe Budden. I think Joe Budden, as introspective as he is, that's where Drake gets his level of introspection from. Whenever you hear me talk about Drake, I say I love Drake because of his introspection.
Yeah.
And then Fonte was the MC, but also had the sing. Yeah, he did the singing, and he didn't just have melodies. He was putting out full blown R&B albums.
Absolutely.
With the Foreign Exchange.
Yep.
So that was my introduction to Drake. What was your first introduction?
So I was, me, like I was, real heavy into Lupe and Cole and some other people. And my sister was actually playing Drake one day. I think, was that 09, 07? It might have been like 09, 08, 09. And I think it might have been a little bit before So Far Gone was out. And she used to play this song called Brand New all the time. And I was like, so she would play all the time, and like when I first heard, I was like, "Yeah, that's fire!" Like, I was like, "Who is that?" She was like, "Oh, this is this artist named Drake." Blah 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 blah. And I think that's when that was like the first song I ever heard from Drake, and I off rip liked the song, and I didn't even know Drake like rap at all yet. Like that was just my introduction to him when my sister was playing it, and then after that, like later on, I think So Far Gone came out. And I remember it was getting all this buzz, and I started listening to that, and I was automatically a fan. Like, hearing him rap, because he had stuff before So Far Gone, but I didn't know him until So Far Gone.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that, and I heard the way he was rapping, and then then finding out he was gonna be with like Young Money and all of them, I was like, oh yeah, he about to be one of them ones. Because So Far Gone to me is a classic. So when I heard that whole project, I was like,
Yeah.
he went crazy because he was rapping on the Say You Will beat.
Yeah, Say What's
and
Real.
So the from the Kanye 808 and Heartbreaks album, and I was like, oh yeah, he going crazy. Like he almost kind of did. He pretty much kind of did with like J. Cole did on Friday Night Lights.
They all sample Kanye, man.
Yeah, bro. Bro. It was because Kanye just he got it, bro. Like, and so
I remember J. Cole and Drake at one point, like way after Friday Night Lights and So Far Gone came out, they were both fighting to get the samples cleared that they used for both of those projects. They were both just like, please, Kanye, clear these samples.
Yep.
And he eventually did it.
And
he didn't do it for J. Cole, so he did it for Drake.
About to say, yeah, he did it for Drake.
He did it for Drake.
But yeah, that was kind of like my introduction to him because I was really heavy into Lupe, like, and of course Lupe still one of my goats, and then it was kind of like when I heard like J. Cole, Drake come along, it was like I was on them, and Wale. That was like who I was listening to like real heavy. But yeah, Drake was one of the ones that I was like listening to, and So Far Gone was literally my introduction into like Drake's music. And and it just went on from there. Like I was just waiting on whatever Drake was dropping.